to get more information. Right here on 92.1 FM. Coming soon.
KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton, live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.
Alright, I turned down a little bit. Okay, so I know we totally just cut off like everyone's favorite song, but we wanted to tell everybody that we have a new YouTube channel, and we need you to subscribe to the new channel because we're not uploading or streaming on the old channel anymore. It's still the voice of Stockton.
It's gonna be fresh, brand new
content.
Great content.
Yeah.
Only exclusively on KXVS.
Yes, if you on this video will be a link in the description where you can click it, but if you want to type it in, we made it real easy for you. Bit.ly, the short link, bit.ly. So you type bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. So bit.ly.
$1 a day can buy you great radio. At the Voice of Stockton, the GoFundMe is a way to help ensure you have great radio here in Stockton. You can be the Voice of Stockton on KXVS. Go to our website, thevoiceofstockton.org, to get more information. Right here on 92.1 FM. Coming soon.
You're listening to KXVS on 92.1, coming soon.
And welcome to Gamer Live 209 here live on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. I am Joe Biscacci here in the studio with
Vic Chili.
And we got an action-packed show today like we always do. But first, before we interrupt ourselves,
nothing.
Normally we talk about things that we have been playing and stuff at the beginning of the show. Victor hasn't really been playing anything.
I've been busy
because he's been. Your computer broke.
Oh yeah,
you can't really play Smite.
No.
You played some Left 4 Dead. Yeah, it's Left 4 Dead. If you played Left 4 Dead, I think people know what's up with Left 4 Dead.
About,
but I downloaded and tried something new last night. It's a game called Let It Die. It's a Grasshopper game from, I'm trying to think of what other games they make. They're weird Japanese games. I want to say like Killer 7 is a Grasshopper game, and maybe like No More Heroes. I might be getting two studios mixed up. But really Japanese, really kooky and weird. It's got some fun characters. Like there's the Grim Reaper, whose name is Uncle Death, who kind of has like a Latin accent. Kind of. It's a little weird.
Just a little bit. When you said Grasshopper game, I thought you meant
a game about grasshoppers. Tangent. Do you remember that game on like? It's an old PC game, and I only remember it from playing it at like school. But it was a game where you're like a bug, you're like a beetle or something, and you're like roaming around the grass.
Doing things. The only school game I remember playing was that Marble Madness or whatever.
Oh, Marble Madness. Yeah. Marble Madness is definitely a good time. I remember playing that when it came to the 360 originally.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, you can't get it on the 360 anymore. Something weird happened where, I don't know, probably licensing dispute or something like that. Anyway, I'm getting super tangential. Anyway, Let It Die. It's kind of a rogue-like. The combat feels a little bit like a Dark Souls game, maybe.
Okay.
Where it's very simplistic. Different weapon types have different kind of combos and stuff like that. But there's a lot of like weight to your hits and delays and stuff like that. So you have to learn attack patterns and attack appropriately, right?
Yeah, I'm a fan of that combat style myself.
Yeah, and some people like to just be able to run up and take hits and come right back and attack things.
Yeah.
But from playing, and admittedly, my first foray into like the Souls series was Bloodborne, which is a very much more fast kind of action-paced one, and this kind of feels a little bit like that. The roll is snappy, and you can easily roll away from stuff. But you have to like time the rolls, because if you try to roll while you're getting attacked, you won't. So it's, even when you're getting like, if you're caught in the middle of a combo, there's still kind of a timing mechanic, because you have to roll out at the appropriate time. The premise of the game is basically kind of like apocalyptic stuff goes crazy on Earth, and somehow in Japan, this giant tower like arose from the ground, and people come and like try to climb the towers because apparently there's like riches in it. So it's got a very kind of like Fallout post-apocalyptic vibe and aesthetic to character outfits and weapon design and stuff like that,
combined with like dungeon-esque feel.
Yes, it's very like Phantasy Star-esque in a lot of ways, of like you get onto the floor and then you go through the floor, through the dungeon, through the corridor.
For the boss at the end?
Not every floor.
Okay.
I want to say that there is a boss at every like 10 floors. Okay. And there are mid-bosses every like 3 floors or something like that. Admittedly, I didn't get very far into it. I only got to floor 3 because it's a roguelike, so it has elements of like losing your character and stuff like that if you die in the tower. So I leveled up a character, and then I was like, well, instead of proceeding onward, I'm going to level up a second character, you know what I mean, just so I have like a backup character and stuff like that. It also has some elements kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5 in terms of that mother base kind of protection defense thing. Players can raid your it's called a waiting room, but basically it's like the main lobby area. Think Tristram from Diablo, or Diablo 3 I should say, or like the I can't think, the Phantasy Star, the main lobby in Phantasy Star. I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
That's your game anyway.
That's my game. I totally can't to draw on a blank right now.
That doesn't sound as awesome.
Your kind of main spot with your shops and that stuff. Right. Also is like your bank, so people can raid it and like attack and kill your fighters, and they can take your fighters, which if they take one of your fighters, there's kind of like a holding fire mechanic where you siphon like energy from them to add to your bank. So kind of got some cool online mechanics there. I should also mention it's free to play.
Okay.
So it does kind of have freemium elements of, you can bring your character back to life with a premium currency if you die out in the tower or something like that. There's also like an elevator. You can get to different floors of the tower by using an elevator, but there's a premium elevator that you don't have to pay for. So like if you pay the season pass or whatever, you get a bunch of extra things, like the free elevator that you can take whenever you want, and some other things that I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. But overall, I thought it was really fun. I'm looking forward to jumping back into it and giving it a try a little bit more, and seeing how much further I can take the characters that I'm playing, see if I can get some new characters, see if I can get some new gear.
Maybe raid a couple waiting rooms.
Yeah, maybe raid a couple waiting rooms or something like that. Also, it's PS4 exclusive. Okay. So if you're looking forward to or at least I'm pretty sure it's PS4 exclusive. They announced it at PSX, so I'm going to go ahead and assume PS4 exclusive. So yeah, if you were wanting to play it on like Xbox, I don't think it's over there. If you want to play it on PC, I don't think it's over there. So, but I liked a lot. It's got a lot of elements of like Monster Hunter, and kind of like, you know, a typical action dungeon RPG like a Phantasy Star or a Diablo. So I was thinking it was really cool.
Sounds like it.
I would recommend anybody who has a PS4 to check it out, because again, it's free. There's the only barrier to entry is the hard drive space. So if you got the hard drive space, might as well download it and give it a try, because you might end up liking it. Anyway, that's what I've been playing. let's get on to another thing that I've been playing. Battlefield 1 has some things coming up with a holiday event, and there was a little bit of a glimpse into the upcoming DLC. So we should probably start at the DLC, since I think that's what was kind of leaked or announced first.
A little bit of concept art.
Yeah, a little bit of concept art. The name of the DLC is They Shall Not Pass. I don't like it at all. I think it's a bad DLC name, but it is what it is.
Right.
Anyway, releasing March 2017. It seems like it's mostly France-based maps.
Yeah,
Verdun is brought up quite a lot. So presumably some of the maps are probably, I assume one of the operations is probably going to be like a Verdun operation.
That'd be exciting.
There's 4 new maps, so presumably 2 new operations, because generally operations are 2 to 3 maps long. It looks like they're doing a little bit more of a emphasis on trench warfare, which is really cool, because that's part of that is a little bit of what's lacking from the other one, or from the other maps in the base game.
And is all of World War I.
Yeah, and is all of World War I, exactly. So neat. Also, the French military is coming. The French military faction is coming with this. And presumably we'll probably see a lot more French weapons added to the game, too. So, exciting.
Yeah.
Also, there's a holiday event coming up for Battlefield 1. Or I guess it's probably started already. A new game mode called Blind Delivery. It's a version of War Pigeons where the minimap is turned off and you only have handguns and explosives. This is kind of a trend that DICE has been doing with Battlefield 1. They've been implementing kind of different custom game modes on official servers.
Yeah.
So like one that happened not too long ago was called Fog of War, where you had no minimap and no HUD, and it was basically hardcore in one map that was super foggy. So it was kind of like, and all you used was a pistol and melee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're trying some different things to try to change up the gameplay a little bit and keep the game fresh.
Give us some options.
Yeah, there's already a lot of talk of Battlefield 1 getting stale for a lot of players, with the kind of lack of a substantial reward system and kind of progression system.
I hear a lot of complaints about the battle pack system.
Yeah, paired with the kind of lack of weapon variety and stuff like that. So, when you compare it to like Battlefield 4 shipped with too many weapons, right? To the point of people were complaining because they were like, there's too many weapons and I don't understand what the difference is between all these weapons and why I would ever use, most of this. Which I think over time with Battlefield 4, they definitely made a better go of differentiating the weapons, you know what I mean, and kind of making them behave differently, so you chose one that kind of fit your play style. Players are also getting a free battle pack, I believe. Yes, all players that log in during the time will get a free battle pack. Premium pass owners are getting extra battle packs on top of the battle packs you're supposed to already get, the 14 that come with the season pass or whatever.
Yeah, there's like 2 special ones. Or
yeah, and some new tank skins. So that's a nice slow burn of DICE adding free stuff and kind of trying to keep the game alive while also pumping out paid for DLC stuff for their premium pass owners and stuff like that. I like Battlefield 1. I agree with people when they bring up stuff like the lack of progression and stuff like that. I definitely see where they're coming from. I think that there could be way more things to unlock in Battlefield, like character skins and more weapon skins. There's not really that many weapon skins, not really that many weapons. So we'll have to see. Over time, I think Battlefield 1's going to get better, but it might be a while.
I was watching
people might wane off of it first before it kind of surges back in popularity, much like Battlefield 4 did for a long time.
Level Cap Gaming was saying something about there was like a caption or something about something big lurks in.
Yeah, it's probably maybe a new behemoth or something like that.
I was talking about. Yeah.
So that might be kind of neat. I've been hearing things about the Paris gun, which I don't know anything about that, but it sounds like a really, really giant cannon of sorts that can probably attack things really far away.
Hopefully.
So Yeah.
That'll be
Anyway,
the game.
we're going to go on a quick break here on Gamer Life 209 here on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. Stay tuned because we have more great gaming news to talk about. We'll be right back.
KXVS on 92.1 FM, coming soon.
Oh yeah, turn down a little bit. Okay, so I know we totally just cut off like everyone's favorite song, but we wanted to tell everybody that we have a new YouTube channel, and we need you to subscribe to the new channel because we're not uploading or streaming on the old channel anymore. It's still the voice of Stockton.
It's gonna be fresh, brand new,
New content.
great content.
Yeah.
Only exclusively on KXVS.
Yes, and on this video will be a link in the description where you can click it, but if you want to type it in, we made it real easy for you. Bit.ly, the short link, bit.ly. So you can type bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. So bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. That's easy enough, right, Donovan? As a silent minority.
Speechless.
I'm trying to get my accent right. Hold on. I'm just going over it in my head. Let me start. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. How to do it? All right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go subscribe to this new channel. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, what's different about this channel than the last one?
Well,
what's changed?
Well, we're making some changes. We're always doing something new, but this is something that we had to do this, and we had to do this for a while. So this new channel.
I'm trying to get my accent right. Hold on. I'm just doing over in my head. Let me start. Hold on.
Channel. And we're gonna migrate all our videos over to that channel as well, and we won't be using the old channel. So if you're waiting on that channel, you'll be missing it. So please do subscribe to our new channel, and it's real easy. Follow us on Facebook, thevoiceofstockton.org. You can find us everywhere. Keep watching us on our live streams, but that's it. We just wanted to break in and tell you that.
And let's make Stockton better together.
That's right. Make Stockton better together. All right. So you know what? Let's start this track over because this is the best bomb song. And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. KXVS, the voice of Stockton, with Donovan and Mr. Details, Dustin Breakville. This is Governor Don signing off.
$1 a day can buy you great radio. At the Voice of Stockton, the GoFundMe is a way to help ensure you have great radio here in Stockton. You can be the Voice of Stockton on KXVS. Go to our website, thevoiceofstockton.org, to get more information. Right here on 92.1 FM. Coming soon.
KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
And we're back to Gamer Life 209 here live on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. I'm Joe Biscacci here in the studio with
Vic Chili.
And we're going to keep rocking and rolling right through these topics. So, next one on the list, Formula Fusion December 2016 build trailer. I saw this when I was bobbing around on Reddit. Somebody posted it, so I checked it out. It's basically F-Zero
with
Wipeout.
Missiles, it looks like.
Yeah, with a little bit of, that kind of Mario Kart type of attack and combat type of gameplay. It looks good.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I think it conveys a sense of speed very well, in a way that a game like this should. Yeah, I mean, on the heels of the Wipeout kind of collection announcement, this kind of spiritual successor to Wipeout maybe saw that and was like, let's throw out a trailer right now to see if we can get people hyped for this thing that's not a remake of an old thing, is a totally new, brand new thing. Now, it says on it that it will be on consoles and PC. It's coming 2017. Kind of getting a resurgence of these, like, speeder game type of things.
Captain Falco's making a comeback.
Yeah, what would you call these?
F-Zero copycat? I don't know.
No, but I mean, like, what would you call the vehicles that they fly around in?
Speeders, maybe?
Yeah, they're like hovercraft.
Yeah,
I don't know.
hover racers.
They make me think Star Wars.
Yeah,
They make me think like Luke's speeder and Tatooine. They don't really look like that at all.
but you could shoot some womp rats in those.
You can in this game,
Yeah.
because you can shoot things at other drivers.
Exactly.
Yeah, anyway, I thought it looked neat. I thought it was just something that was worth bringing up to shine a little light on. So if you're into kind of high-speed, fast racers, go check out Formula Fusion, because it should be coming out eventually. You never know with these things, right? Especially like indie games that are on like early access and stuff like that. I don't know if this game's in early access, but when they're putting out build trailers and stuff like that, you just never know when these things are actually going to see the light of day. But it looks cool, so I would say go check it out. A lot of good paint jobs on the vehicles. That's another thing I notice. Like, the vehicles look really good, and it looks like there's some good customization to the vehicles, which always goes a long way.
Color combinations.
Yep. Next one, Killer Instinct Reimagining Thunder. This is a trailer I saw over on the official Xbox website, or YouTube channel, I guess I should say. Thunder is a old Killer Instinct fighter that, of course, they want to bring back to the new version of Killer Instinct. But basically, this trailer kind of outlines how the dev team worked with actual Native Americans to try to not make a good cultural representation of a chief or a warrior who would actually be part of a Native American tribe, rather than I think there's a lot of kind of like characterization and stuff that we over time society has just put applied on to Native Americans that aren't necessarily like in the realm of reality at all. So it was neat to, in this video, they kind of outlined how they brought in some experts from the Nez Perce tribe to really sit down and design the character and make them culturally appropriate and realistic. Accurate. Down to things like they got the tomahawks totally wrong, so they had to like completely redesign the tomahawk, and like the original design had a belt, like a metal belt buckle and stuff like that. But it's cool to see the change that was made, because they show you kind of the original model and they show the updated model, and you can just kind of tell that it's more realistic. It's kind of like toned down a little bit. It doesn't have a bunch of crazy stuff going on with it. There's not a ton of feathers and headdresses and
change the war paint to just black.
Yeah, it feels really grounded. And I think it's a really, really cool character model. I gotta give it up to Microsoft for going the extra mile, right? And trying to not kind of stomp all over a culture's culture. And actually involve them in the creation process so that they do something that is accurate, an accurate representation. So, really cool. Go check out that character model video. Is Killer Instinct Reimagining Thunder.
No smoke 'em peace pipe or anything like that.
Moving on.
Hiya.
We got two kind of shooter things not shooter, actually. I take it back. Space things.
Yes.
Pairing the space things together. So the first thing is Star Marine gameplay trailer. Of course, this is the FPS module for Star Citizen. Star Citizen is basically No Man's Sky. I don't know if I should really say that, but it's big, open, vast universe, MMO, go in, do things, build, get different ships, fly around, mine, attack other players.
Pretty
if you want
to,
pirate and stuff like that. Ton, like, ridiculous amount of money has gone into this game so far. I think mostly because when they went into like early access, they started selling ships to kind of make up, bring in development revenue, and some of the ships are ridiculously expensive. Like I'm talking like thousands of dollars, ridiculously expensive, but people buy them. So like when you throw a concept like Star Citizen at people, I feel like people are willing to shell out money for it if they have disposable income like that.
Yeah.
And this is a game that they really, really want to see come to fruition. People are really willing to put out the money for it. Now, Star Marine is kind of it broken down to more of its just FPS elements. In the like regular base game, I'm pretty sure you can freely get out of your ship and do EVA jumps to other ships to like board them and stuff like that.
Cool.
But I'm pretty sure this module is more of a refined down actual kind of FPS.
You start on this side, we start on this side.
Yeah, team deathmatch kind of experience. Looks like Call of Duty in terms of like time to kill and kind of the way the bullets work, and like a lot of the vibe that comes off is Call of Duty.
I thought
it has zero gravity fighting, which is a leg up on Call of Duty. Call of Duty has zero gravity in the campaign mode, but it's like it's not really zero gravity. It's like jump to location and plant your feet, and then jump to another place and kind of plant your feet.
Yeah.
Or at least pretty sure that from what I saw anyway of the gameplay, not trailer. But in this is more of actual, because you have thrusters on your body to thrust around, because it's a space game primarily.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can actually do kind of zero-G space combat.
Jetpack
down to
around.
like if people are chasing you, you can run and jump out of the ship and turn around in midair while you're moving backwards and shoot back at them.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So, I think this has a lot of cool things going for it. It's also something that they just have to work out, right? It's a process of they need to get the shooting mechanics working correctly to implement them into the more open world kind of RPG play space of the game, right? The MMO play space of the game. So, go check that out. Star Marine gameplay. It's looking pretty good, and we'll see. This game's been in development for a long time, and I don't know when it's not going to be in development. So, we'll see. We'll see with Star Citizen.
Okay.
Next one. This is the new one. It's called Hellion.
I was really excited about this.
Yeah, this looks basically kind of like what they're kind of trying to do with Star Citizen. Early access starts January 2017. Basically, it looks like you just survive out in space.
Super desolate.
Yeah.
I love that.
You build space stations for yourself. It's co-op. So you and a buddy can get together to mine resources and build your kind of like your group's space station. You can raid other players' space stations. So it's got a lot of that kind of Dark Souls-y RPG kind of MMO-y aspects. It's a lot more how do I put it? Pulled back. It only takes place in one solar system, so it's not trying to go the approach of like a No Man's Sky where they throw billions of planets at you, but none of them are really, they don't really have any depth or like feel crafted in any way. Flying ships around, attacking people, flying around in space, you can EVA like you would expect in a space game. But primarily it's a survival game. So it's basically you got to get out there and survive in space and get the resources that you need to survive, the hydrogen, the oxygen to keep yourself breathing, keep yourself hydrated. So yeah, it looks neat. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, no, I was, as someone who demands as much realism in a game as it can give you, I was excited that everything's constantly moving with Newtonian physics.
And that's the other thing is like they went the extra mile of making the world, like making space work properly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that it feels like a real space simulation, not that you're in. One of the things I always kind of think about space is it almost feels like being perpetually underwater in some games. You know what I mean? Just the way that it comes off, it's like jumps are floaty because
Like
they all kind of do like the moon thing. Yeah. But the way that you can like swim through space from underwater station to station, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, space and water kind of the same, except not the same at all.
Thrusters is what you need. You can't just swim.
Well, yeah, because obviously there's no there's nothing to propel yourself off of in space, nothing to get traction on and push yourself forward. Anyway, go check out Hellion. I think it's looking pretty cool.
Amazing.
Some of the shooting mechanics kind of look like they're in kind of early stages right now, but it looks like a really, really neat kind of online co-op survival game, as if there's not enough of those, right? But like, I feel like there's not as many in space.
Yeah.
So to have something that's not zombies, you know what I mean? To have something that's not like monsters or something, have something completely set somewhere else. I'm excited for it. It looks really cool. So I would say go check out Hellion. It's coming to early access January 2017. Probably PC only. I'm going to go ahead and go off on a limb and say PC only. So yeah. Anyway, that looks really cool. Go check out Hellion. Now, before we close out the show, I wanted to introduce this. We're doing questions of the day now. First question of the day, I guess. Yeah, ever. What's your favorite game console?
Well, it's funny, we were talking about Killer Instinct today, and I gotta give it to the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
That's just, me and my cousins used to play Super Mario World all the time. Take turns trying to beat the levels.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, fight each other. And what's another one we played? I know there was something else, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy that 16-bit kind of side-scrolly. It's the reason I enjoy Terraria so much. Kind of reminds me of the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And the same kind of like aesthetic and gameplay styles and stuff like that.
Can't beat the classics.
Can't beat the classics. I have a lot of game consoles that I'm very fond of. I like the Xbox, the original Xbox a lot, because that was the first console that I got in like that gaming generation, and I feel like you're kind of defined by the gaming generation you grew up in, right? Yeah. And I feel like we grew up during the PS2, GameCube, Xbox gaming console generation, basically. And although I had all of them at some point eventually, I kind of have the most reverence for the original Xbox for some reason, just because
all that Halo.
Well, that's the thing, is I didn't even really play that much Halo, but it's more things like, I remember playing sports game because it was the first one I got, so it was the one that I played, and like most of my multi-platform games I ended up getting on the Xbox still way later, when I started to realize that like a lot of things, they didn't play better. The Xbox actually ran things better mostly than the GameCube or the PS2. But at some point I started getting things for the PS2, like Battlefront and stuff, Battlefront 2 and Need for Speed, Underground and stuff. I would pick those up for the PS2. But yeah, all my sports games I would always get on the Xbox, the original Xbox. It was the one that Sega put kind of more emphasis on coming out of the failure of the Dreamcast, which when I got done with the Xbox here, I'm going to jump back to the Dreamcast because I got to give a shout out to the Dreamcast. But yeah, so like Phantasy Star made its way onto the original Xbox. Crazy Taxi was on the original Xbox.
Forgot about that.
The original Xbox came with a hard drive, so it didn't need memory cards, which was like huge.
I first heard about it.
And it introduced Xbox Live, right? Kind of the cornerstone of console online gaming. Other like consoles had it, right? Like you could play Phantasy Star on your Dreamcast online.
Really?
Yeah. And there was some, like, Dreamcast had online options, like it had a browser and stuff like that.
Whoa.
And even stuff like, I want to say the Super Nintendo had this thing called Satellaview that was like a satellite service to watch things and play things on your Super Nintendo. But we're kind of going deep there. The Xbox is really kind of what started and allowed online console gaming to really take off.
Yeah. As mainstream as it is today.
Yeah, as mainstream as it is today. And other, like even the PS2 at the back end and the GameCube, can't, not talk about the GameCube. The GameCube also had Phantasy Star Online that you could play online with the network adapter thing. You also
okay. You needed that extra part.
Mario Kart, Double Dash. That was like the only two games that were online capable for the GameCube were Double Dash and Phantasy Star Online. Anyway, so I gotta give, I think, the main shout out to the original Xbox.
Makes sense.
Plus, it came into a market that everybody was like, Microsoft making a console. What is this giant brick? What are these controllers? And although they're not doing great right now, necessarily compared to the PlayStation, they're doing better than the Nintendo products.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
So, shout out to the Xbox for Microsoft just pushing their way right into the console space and not caring at all and making it happen. Dreamcast, though, got to give a shout out to Dreamcast. Dreamcast had a lot of good games. Phantasy Star, which one of my favorites. It's got a lot of weird, silly things like Knights and Space Channel 5 with Michael Jackson in it.
I remember
Space Michael. Yeah. So shout out to Dreamcast.
Space Michael.
And then I feel like I have to give a shout out to the 360 because the 360 has some of my favorite games on it that never made its way to other things. Things like Chrome Hounds. Chrome Hounds might be one of my favorite games ever, and nobody knows what it is.
Right.
Nobody.
What is it?
It's a mech game made by the people who make Dark Souls.
Huh.
And they have another mech game called Armored Core that is like Gundam, basically, like giant mechs strafing around with laser swords and stuff like that. Chrome Hounds was the complete opposite direction. Chrome Hounds was super grounded. The vehicles were really slow. They had weight levels and not requirements but limits and different kinetic and energy damage mitigation values based on the different pieces you were using, and it was just crazy.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, I don't it's hard to describe to somebody, but Chrome Hounds did so many things that were so unique, but nobody gave the game the time of day, so nobody knows about it, and it really bums me out.
Do you remember there was a mech game that used to be in arcades where you had two joysticks and you would
I think I know what you're talking about.
That was one of my favorite games of all time, and I can't remember what it's called for the life of me.
Yeah. That seems to be. That's always so disappointing when you remember something but don't remember it completely. Right. So you can't describe it to other people because you're like, it's this thing, but I don't know what it's called, so I can't tell you what to look up. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. My favorite console, or favorite. I don't know if I would call it favorite console though.
Yeah.
I have a lot of reverence for it, but there's so many different consoles that I like so much. I don't know. Let's go with the original Xbox. Original Xbox for me. Super Nintendo over there for Vic.
And I gotta give a shout out to the PS1 because that was the first console that was mine. It wasn't my mom's old.
Hand me down,
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that has been our show here on Gamer Life 209, live on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. If you want to watch us when we do these shows, go check us out over on YouTube, where we live stream this show and all our other shows, so you can look at our faces while we talk into these microphones. Also, we stream our shows over different internet radio sources such as Streama or TuneIn. So on either TuneIn or the Simple Radio app, search KXVS, the voice of Stockton, where you can find us and listen to us wherever you have an internet connection. With that being said, we are done here. Stay tuned for more great content here on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. But we're out here. We'll catch you guys later.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton, live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.
Oh yeah, turn down a little bit. Okay, so I know we totally just cut off like everyone's favorite song, but we wanted to tell everybody that we have new